first time I moved away from home was to go to university in 1997 to Aberystwyth on the West Wales coast. I still remember going. At the time I was a fairly new Christian and still a fairly immature Christian. I didn't know a lot of what it meant to know and love and follow Jesus at that point. But God in his kindness put me in a hall of residence where the guy living in the room directly opposite mine was a Christian. He was a few months younger than me, but he was a far more mature Christian than me. We became really good friends. And I'm so thankful that he was in that room opposite me, because he set me a great example of what it meant to be a follower of Jesus Christ. I could see very early on that he loved to read the Bible. He would do that every day. He would pray over the Bible. He was hungry to know more about Jesus. And he loved the other students, whether they were Christians or not, who lived on our corridor, and made every effort to be kind to them and help them where he could. He loved people and he loved church. He loved to go to the Sunday services at our church as well as to the prayer meeting too. And he loved to tell people about Jesus. Now, he wasn't perfect, but I did look up to him an awful lot, and I learnt a huge amount from him. I learnt more and more of what it was to be a Christian, to have that goal of knowing Christ and being like Christ. We should look for people like that in our lives. Christians we can look up to who are mature in the faith, and we should try and imitate them. That's why Paul says what he says in our verse for today, Philippians 3 verse 17. He says, "Join in imitating me, brothers and sisters, and pay careful attention to those who live according to the example you have in us." If you're still a fairly new Christian, or even if you've been a Christian for quite a few years and you want to grow, look out for believers who are mature in the Lord and copy them. See how they live. See how they seek to grow themselves and follow their example. If you are an older Christian, always remember that you'll have younger Christians looking up to you. They'll seek to look to you as an example, as someone to mentor them in the faith, if you like. So make sure that as an older Christian, you're still hungry to know Jesus and to make him known. And in that way, you'll provide a great role model for newer Christians who are just learning what it's all about. Be like Paul. Imitate him. Look for people like him and imitate them. Be a good example to follow in knowing and making known Jesus Christ.